Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Missouri School Boards Association's Board Report for the month of January. We thank you for the opportunity to share some news and information during a few minutes of your board meeting. We begin with a look at the decision by the State Board of Education to move forward with state assessments this spring. The State Board voted at its December meeting to continue to administer statewide assessments to students next year, but to suspend the use of the test results from state and federal accountability systems because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Commissioner of Education Dr. Margie Van Dieven said during the meeting she expects COVID-19 will have an impact on assessment results.
We don't want our educators spending their time right now thinking about a standardized test. We want them to be educating our kids. And we believe that if they continue to educate the kids to the best of their ability, the scores generally take care of themselves. But we expect to see some differentiation. Who wouldn't expect to see that?
State Board of Education President Charlie Shields said it's important to understand if there are achievement losses as a result of the pandemic.
You know, when this started back in March of last year, I mean, we were talking about just the end of that school year. Now this has dragged on and you know, potentially has a year and a half effect on that. So I think we understand the losses. I think it's also equally important to understand, did those losses occur more in underserved communities? So children that face significant socioeconomic challenges, did we see higher levels of achievement losses in those communities? So once we know that, I think what happens is it allows us to begin to think about what does an appropriate remediation plan look like. But you can't develop a remediation plan if you don't understand the challenge out there.
The decision by the State Board of Education followed a discussion of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education's 2021 assessment plan. As the 2021 regular session of the Missouri General Assembly gets underway this month, an issue likely to be discussed is changing the school board election date from April to the November general election. MSBA believes school board elections should continue to be held on the municipal election day. MSBA's Associate Executive Director for Advocacy, Mike Reed, says moving school board elections to the November general election would make those elections more partisan and would create another problem.
The other problem is that there is not an election every November. There's a general election every other November, so it would throw off the election of school board members, so we would elect 4 members one time and 2 members or 3 members the next time, and so it could be very problematic.
MSBA believes school board elections should remain nonpartisan so school board members can focus on what's best for students. By the way, candidate filing for the April school board elections closes on January 19th. There are resources available to school board candidates posted on the MSBA website, including a legal guide to running for the school board. MSBA's priorities for the 2021 session of the General Assembly include legislation to ensure a safe education environment for all children, funding to ensure adequate resources for all school districts to meet state and federal standards, legislation and funding to allow school districts to offer quality, voluntary pre-kindergarten programs, and legislation supporting the expansion of and access to high-capacity broadband internet services throughout Missouri. MSBA will keep you informed about legislative developments during the session through our weekly Legislative Voice newsletter, our daily updates on Twitter, through critical issue alerts, and through periodic webinars. School board members throughout the state will be honored for their work during School Board Recognition Week, February 14th through 20th, as declared by Governor Parson. It's a great opportunity for communities to honor local school board members who provide leadership to our local school districts throughout the state. Check the MSBA website for resources related to School Board Recognition Week. That's it for this month's edition of the MSBA Board Report. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and so long from Columbia.